In a world with entirely too many shows about cars, this is another pointless automotive podcast.
Hello,
Sir,
sir. How are
what's
you?
what's jerking, dude?
Oh boy. Me, I suppose.
It's fucking
No.
go time.
Things are great. Things are hanging and dangling and jerking.
Mm,
Well, how are you?
good, man. It's been a little while. I look forward to
Hmm.
our regular chats, if you will.
It is. It is. Sometimes they're recorded ahead of time. Sometimes they're not.
You never
Who
know.
knows? Maybe between when this has been recorded and when it goes live, uh,
Mm.
there's been a nuclear holocaust. Who's to tell? Um, and yeah, come on, nuclear holocaust.
Let's go.
Let's fucking go. Um, what are you drinking this evening, sir?
Miller Lite, man. I'm
Okay,
doing the
I've
responsible
decided
thing.
I'm gonna get really crazy.
Mm-mm. How dare you?
My friend, have you ever been to France?
No, I haven't. I've been to Quebec. That's close, right? That's like the U.S. or the North American version. Look at this guy. This guy's
I've got
killing me.
this Maison Perrier, France. It says it's Pina Frizz, which is inspired by the pina colada.
Wow.
I know.
You are.
We're
You're
gonna
cutting
see.
all the way loose, dude.
It's like skinny and like roughly 8 ounces,
It's like
and
a White
it's
Claw dimensionally.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, you
Hmm.
can. I mean, I can't, but you could squat over this and just make it disappear.
Oh, dude, with ease. I wouldn't even
Yeah,
know. I
yeah,
think it's happened accidentally.
yeah. Exactly. You you you've got like a recycling center in your asshole just
Yeah.
from like swallowing these like skinny cans.
Of course.
Accidental squat. Boy, how do I get out of
Uh,
this?
uh,
Man, you know what? Also, you can
nope.
casually squat over and forget that you place them inside of your body. Newer cars,
Mm.
I suppose. So I I don't know. We talk a lot about old cars. What do you have to say about this, sir?
Yeah, so you're right. I think we do
Over
belabor
not
the
old
point
old.
of talking about older cars for us, right? Like mostly 70s, 80s, 90s is our spot there. Late 70s, all the 80s, right through the 90s, early 2000s. But there is some stuff. We're looking at maybe like 20 years. I think there's a lot of good stuff in the past 20 years that are still enthusiast cars, and there's reasons why more modern cars
Yeah.
don't quite make we don't talk about them enough, but they do make a fantastic enthusiast machines. It looks like you're struggling with your Pina Frizz or
It's not that
penis
good.
jizz, whatever the fuck it is.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what?
He wishes it was penis jizz at this point.
You know what? It'd be saltier. I'll tell
Oh
you that
boy.
much. Or so I've been told.
I've got nothing to say on the subject.
Um, although this has at least looking at the can, it's got pineapple. It's got pineapple in it. So
Someone tried
which
to
is
human.
yeah, exactly. Which is
I am
famously good
also
for the
a
penis jizz.
human.
Um, no, it's not. It's not good. Um, you know what is actually good though is really every kind of modern cars. I just,
Yeah.
from my perspective, there's a lot of, and we're going to draw the
Hmm.
line at 20 years. So '05 and newer.
Okay,
Um,
good call.
I think newer than that, because even like '05 to 2010 are like, S2000 and there's a lot of stuff in there that is like kind of a carryover from like the early 2000s.
True.
But modern cars that aren't appliances,
Yeah, they
and a lot
exist.
of they exist, and they're very, 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 very good. Largely, they're very good, but they're way less cool, which is why we don't talk about them as much.
Maybe. I think
There are cool things, but
in time they will be that cool. And I think we kind
what's
of
cool
know,
now?
yeah. Well,
What do you think is cool now?
for modernish,
Yeah, that's like genuinely cool. There's
ah,
some stuff that is cool, but isn't like in our wheelhouse, but like what's cool.
I think I think the BRZ FRSs get there over time. I think
Yeah.
they're cool.
Over
And
time. They're not
yeah,
quite, they're a little bit too fuckboy right now.
sure, but that's like everything goes through that, right? At one time or another. I think
Yeah.
that's how this
The
works, man.
PT
This is
Cruiser.
oh God, the natural cycle of these cars, right? They kind of
Sure.
and that usually coincides with a depreciation dip, the bottom of the curve, if you
Mhm.
will, is fuckboyism. But
Exactly.
when they pull themselves up from that drudgery, they do start to be appreciated for what they are. I think 350Z. Let's go there. Let's go 350Z
Yeah.
because talk about a car that was fuckboy for the longest time, and now clean ones are starting to be
That's the problem.
respected.
They have to be stock.
They have to stockish. I think you can have a good
Yeah.
exhaust, like a good exhaust and good wheels. You can't be stanced out. I
Good
know.
exhaust is such a,
I know.
that's a
I know.
hard thing.
There's some pretty cool ones. I've heard, I've heard some of the ones with the like I kind of like the single pipe exhaust, like a quality one. I think it's kind of cool on that motor. But yeah,
God,
VQ,
I guess
I
I've
know.
never done a deep dive on how to unfuck the sound of a VQ.
They're there. They are out there. But that
The motors
car,
themselves are okay, and the cars themselves are kind of
really good.
cool. Like I
Yeah,
think,
really cool. I think it's a cool car, man. Remember when they came
yeah,
out? They were like spaceships, man. We were like, wow, it's an impressive little rig Nissan. And then
yeah.
5 years later,
Barbie was into it.
they were fuckboy ornaments, right? Like those things just talk
Hmm.
about a car that got destroyed by a culture. Um,
And
now though,
370s even.
370s is special. Yeah, same deal. But the 350Z, when I see a clean stock one, it actually it's I stop and I have to talk about it because you just first off, they're pretty fucking rare to find stock 350s, especially the early ones. I just think they look good, dude. I think it's
They're
an
cool.
interesting
Like I'm
car.
like thinking about it because you have what were the original trims? 'Cause you had base, you had track, you had touring,
What was it?
you
Enthusiast at the
had
beginning?
enthusiast.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hmm.
enthusiast was like the step above base.
Yep.
And then you had touring, which was like, we're gonna take that and make it more luxury.
Yeah, all the features.
And then and then track, which was like, we're gonna take enthusiast and make it more. You had the Brembo brakes with like the gold calipers
Yep.
and like the not quite TE wheels. It was like a different kind of spoked wheel.
Yeah,
You're I'm into it. You're turning my mind into being okay. Here's the thing
I'd
though.
love a clean 350Z.
Let's say
I think
let's
I'd
say it's
enjoy that a lot.
2005.
Yeah.
If you had to pick,
Mm.
but today though,
Mm.
um, which makes no sense, but bear with me. Um, clean 350Z of your spec
Yeah.
or G35 coupe of your spec? Because I kind of want G35.
Talk about a car that got fucked by fuck
I
boys.
know, but those G35 coupes are
I know.
so
They're so cool. And you get
so cool.
you
Yeah,
get the
that bright
manual with the
blue.
Brembo. Same thing, the gold Brembos, right?
Mhm. But you had a back seat and a
Mm.
little. They were heavier. They were squishier,
Those
but they
interiors
were
shit the bed because you couldn't get
not
cloth. They all
both
came with
though.
leather. Yeah, but you get a cloth
Both they were fucked.
350Z
You
held up
could,
good.
yeah,
Yeah.
but the rest
They're-
of it didn't. Like the
Sure.
dash, that big flappy door, and like all
Whatever.
that.
I'm worried about the G35 seats just fucking 5 years after they came out. Just all the seams just
They were like
opened
those
up.
super
Yeah.
wide, chunky seats.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
The
Infinity
controls
used
in
to
the
make
middle.
good seats. God, they did. G20s even had good seats. But
It's.
yeah,
I mean, Infinity used to make good things, but
they
yeah,
had a moment.
yeah, you're right, man. Those are cool. Those are like cool neo. They're like neoclassical. They're
Right?
almost like on the bottom edge of. They walk the line, I think, between the shit we normally talk about
Mm-hmm.
and the more modern stuff.
Sure, they're right there.
Right?
They straddle that
they're
time
right on
period.
the bubble.
Yep.
Um, those are really good. I kind of want to talk more about like more into the more modern shit, which is tough because it's like this is not the end of the swimming pool that we normally play in.
Not our wheelhouse. You know what I actually did even more so than looking at specific, and we should definitely pick
Yeah.
specific models that speak to these points. I picked
Mhm.
attribution So why
Sure.
these cars are better, and I think we just nailed it. Like you said it right at the beginning, like modern cars are good. And I broke those down into a couple categories. I think the first one that's really easy to talk about is
Mhm.
performance. These cars
Yeah, they're all
just
super
hands
performant.
down beat the shit out of the cars we love. It's just
Mhm.
the evolution of engines, efficiency, better fuel economy, better power
Mhm.
output, better like power per displacement. It's like not even a contest. Yeah, there's some shining stars and reasons we love the cars we love, but just pound for pound performance, dude, these more modern cars spank the shit, like absolute spank the
Yeah.
shit out of the cars we love.
Yeah.
Right? Let's be honest.
No, for sure. And there's and that's where that's where it gets tricky is because when we're talking about these modern cars,
Mm-hmm.
you can take kind of anything mildly performative or performant
Mm.
from the late 2000s, early 2010s, and put it up against supercars of the 80s and 90s,
Especially the early
and
80s, right?
they'll just
Yeah.
get, or even like the late 80s, right? Like they
Ooh,
just get absolutely
it's a little
smoked.
spicy. Yeah.
Like you just take 2012 Mustang GT and put it in
Oh,
a fucking
sure.
Countach.
You're right.
It gets, or a 512 TR gets
Sure.
absolutely ragdolled. Like it's not even a thing. And that was
For
the
15K.
pinnacle, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
and you bought it on a fucking PenFed loan while you're out on leave, and then you end up getting chlamydia from a chick who now has your baby.
God bless.
God bless. Exactly. You got that USAA insurance though.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, yes,
True story.
yes. True story.
Got rid of the chlamydia, though.
Chlamydia's gone now. That ship has sailed, along with the one you were AWOL from.
I save a shit ton on that insurance.
I know you weren't a squid though, so you're cool. The thing, like when I think about more modern stuff, it's funny because the older stuff, the cool factor is higher, but the performance is lower. So then when when we're talking about the more modern stuff, the performance potential is insane. But then trying to figure out something that is also cool or close to matching the cool of the, say, pre 2005 stuff.
It's tough.
One that absolutely ruins on the performance side and gets close on the cool side. Shelby GT350.
Yeah, that's super modern too.
Yeah, that's what 2016 and newer.
Is it wrong if I say I like the GT500 from the old one?
Yes.
I think those are so cool.
If you drive them back, if you drive them back to back,
not comparable.
And I haven't driven them back to back. I've driven like God, what year was it? I think I drove like what was the first year of the newer
it's
bodies? Was it
05? Wait.
That one, like the new, like the
retro.
The retro.
Yeah.
When they went to the next one after that.
So the facelift ones after that, they did it in 2010, but they didn't get Coyotes till 2011. So there was that 1 year where you got the good looking one with 300 horsepower.
Yeah. The modular. Yeah, I've driven one of those and it's whatever. And I've driven that, I think it was a 10, it wasn't 11 GT350, or sorry, GT500. Fine. GT350, it's cool. Transcendent. I actually thought about this earlier this week. I wanted to do an episode on like Invasion of the Body Snatchers, where if you can find let's say a totaled GT350, like it rolled over, but the powertrain and like the floor pan are cool, and you want to like match up the wheelbase to something older and just like chopped and screwed and drop a body on like a car, because that's the problem for me on that car. It's like I'm not Mustang guy, so I'm not going to do the GT350 because I'm an idiot. We talked about this a bit on the new daily driver shopping for me, but like
Craig's hipsterism prevents him.
It is, yeah. I'm too busy eating avocado toast to own a Mustang, And so, but like, how sick would it be if you just like, I don't know, put a P1800 body on it, which that wouldn't match. But I'm just saying.
Yeah, no.
But those cars are cool. But that's the struggle with what we're trying to do in this episode.
Drop it in like a Mercury Marauder.
Oh, that'd be so
That'd
sick.
be fucking sick.
That'd be so sick.
What? Yeah, never mind. That's perfect. That's kind of perfect.
Just a link or like a Lincoln Mark 8, the LSC.
Oh yeah.
That'd be like that's an episode, but that's the challenge here is like the cool factor is the older stuff.
Mm-hmm.
The modern stuff is just dominant performance wise, and so
dude, that being said, though, Terminator Cobras were fucking nasty good.
Again, those are on the bubble, but god damn it, those are good.
God, they're cool.
I drove a really low mile one and kind of whooped on it.
Mm-hmm.
This one, there's like a 6,000 mile.
Oh, that's
Terminator Cobra Coupe.
I drove a modified high mileage one, but it had like an undersized pulley and a bunch of mods done to it, and it was fucking brutally fast. Like,
oh, dude,
this one was fast.
This one was stock,
and but quick.
It's funny. I came out of it. I came into this out of a low mile, F body Camaro SS with all the SLP goodies.
Oh,
and
cool.
That felt like drive. It was like super, like the all the inputs were soft and the car was soft and it felt really old.
Yeah.
And then I got directly out of that into the an 03 Terminator Cobra with like no miles on it. And like the clutch was heavy as shit.
Yeah.
And the shifter was like just like bolt action. And
they're fucking cool.
There were no squeaks or rattles yet because I had no miles on it.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just you just like lean in the throttle and just golly,
cool.
Really, really, really good. Really good.
Good car.
That's almost like again, that's on the bubble.
It is.
It's like a little but yeah, those are really, really good.
Good cars. Good value too for what
our
you
modern
get.
Mustang's just good.
That's the thing, man. Like I think I reviewed like a 2015 and I was like, you could go buy this. Like out of the box, it can spank almost everything from the 80s and 90s. Like spank.
Oh,
like 465 horsepower. 6-speed manual and like
that's
not like horrible handling.
It's like Diablo stats.
Wonderful interiors. They look good. The interiors are actually really comfy and nice. You can have your ventilated seats on and spank someone's 80s supercar for the price of like, I don't even know. The regular, like what, every 2-year maintenance interval on that car, the cost of that with the Mustangs. The Mustangs are a great value proposition. And the brakes too. The Brembo package on those, like if you get like on the GTs, you can get like the performance packs and those Brembo upgrades. And that's the other thing too. We're talking about engine performance, how that's changed on modern cars. Brakes. The biggest thing probably from like, let's say 80s, 90s to like these 2010 cars we're talking about.
Why are you talking shit on my Sprint Turbo like that?
You could actually just put brakes on your fucking car, bro. That would help.
Handbrake.
Yeah, your brake, your freaking rotor is like the diameter of a piece of paper, just like that thin.
Wonder Bread. Yeah,
non-ventilated, correct in the front. Yeah, just a wow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's great.
But brake technology has come. Like early ABS was a fucking early ABS would get you killed in the early. Like the 80s in the snow. If you tried to stop at the end of like a street and you're like, your brakes pulsed at like a rate of like 5 per minute. It was like, and you're still rolling full speed. No good.
Yep.
But modern braking technology and just the size of like, I don't know. We've upgraded pads, rotors. The calipers are so much more advanced. Everything is, the ABS systems are so smarter. Just modern braking, dude. Talk about an advantage there. And there's a lot of speed gain there if you're driving in a spirited way, just having good modern brakes.
Yeah, it's that's the thing. It's funny because it's like, good modern brakes, good modern tires, good modern
tire
suspension.
Technology. There you go.
And like the suspension and brakes are built to take advantage of these modern tires and compounds and stuff like that. Where like you can slap really good tires on whatever a Fox body, right? And it'll help, but like the rest of the car isn't up to the task,
right? Yeah,
And that's the thing. It's just like you look back at like the 90s Godzilla cars, right? Your Mark IV Supra, which was, your overnighting parts from Japan, whatever.
Mhm.
It's within 10% of the horsepower of like a fucking Camry TRD.
Sure. Yeah. There's that.
And so like I again, not to absolutely DDT a dead horse,
Mm.
but like just modern shit. What's interesting is like the more modern stuff that's really cool is the opposite of stuff that was really cool in the 80s and 90s. 80s and 90s stuff that was really cool, with some notable exceptions,
Mm.
were small sport coupes and convertibles.
Yeah, it was the time.
When you
of
get
that.
to the
Yeah.
last 20 years, it's not coupes and convertibles mostly. It's like sport sedans,
Super sedans. Yeah.
Yeah, you got super sedans, wagons, sport wagons. We don't talk about it, but the market is and was into like hot sporty SUVs and crossovers.
Yeah.
And so when we're talking the modern shit, like Chevy SS.
Mm-hmm.
What a cool fucking thing. That would have been impossible to exist in the 80s, 90s. Just wasn't a thing.
Yep.
But like 6-speed V8, big power, good chassis, handling, brakes,
magnetic ride
brakes.
suspension. Yep.
Yeah, mag ride,
brakes.
all that shit. I've not driven one, sadly. That's a car I should have mentioned in the daily. In the daily conversation from prior episode, but like
over a G8 GXP.
I think they look better, even though it looks like a Malibu.
I think the GXP looks so fucking sweet in real life, dude. I think
the problem with the
so
GXP
good.
is everyone, back to the fuckboy talk. Every one of those is owned
not the GXP though. The GXP was
the GXP.
No, you can't find them. They only came with a 6-speed manual, which ruled out many fuckboys. The GTs are the ones you see that are
fuckboy bait.
That are
fuck
shit
boy
up.
Bait.
You can't, dude. GXPs are still clean and still very pricey. They're so rare, dude.
They are.
The GTs all day getting fuckboyed. But the GXP with the 6-speed manual and had a boost in power, I think they look. I'm a Pontiac sucker for body cladding, and those things just. It's a 4-door like
you had me at.
GTO.
I'm a Pontiac sucker.
Yeah, I am a Pontiac sucker, dude. So slap some plastic cladding on my ass. I'm going in, dude.
Well, here's the thing: if while we're at it, and we kind of this is maybe burying the lead, I would think for us, the likes of us, what might be the ultimate in this conversation is just CTSV.
Yeah. Yep.
First gen is on the bubble, but like
first gen's on the bubble.
Second gens are really good. Beyond that, they're all like they get better gen by gen, but like a second gen CTSV is good. A rowdy car.
Yeah, I got a buddy with a modified one it's an absolute, it's just a rocket ship, right?
They made manuals, they made wagons, all that.
I'm never going to stop talking about the day I passed on a 40K wagon manual. Never going to stop talking about that because it can't be had anymore.
Now it's worth 80.
It can't be had anymore. God damn it.
Yeah.
They're cool as shit. Dude, the first gen, though, is still a deal, and
God,
you don't have to worry about
dog shit, though.
Who gives a fuck? You have only one gearbox, and it's a 6-speed manual.
I know. Then
that's the trade, baby.
And then the diff blows up. But like, they're a good size, though. I'll give them that. They're a good size. They were trying to be more of a 3 Series fighter than a 5 Series fighter.
It's a 4-door Z06 Corvette from the period.
Sure.
Yeah.
What's funny?
Can't be coming at me with that fucking. So that C5 Z06 interior was much better.
Well, no, but what I'm saying is, what I'm thinking is like, we've been spending a lot of talk. We've been talking domestics.
Oh yeah,
there's been a lot of domestic.
We have.
God, like other stuff, like
so. My favorite. What you want to do this? You want to do this right?
Oh! What do we got?
Let's go V8s from the period we'll go from Europe, and there's
M3.
Some Japanese stuff.
M3.
My favorite cars I mentioned. I love this period. The RS4. You got the E90 M3. You've got the Lexus ISF, and then
Yeah.
Mercedes-Benz with the C63 AMG.
I
Those
love that
four
motor.
fucking cars, all four of those cars are winners. They're fucking winners, dude.
They are. And what's interesting is that M3, the E90X.
I like to do the four door.
Yeah, I'm a sedan truther. Really, really, really good. I reliability concerns aside.
It's not that bad. Yeah, not that bad.
That's what every owner of the no, it's not that bad. You just have to do this thing and 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 ignore this other thing, and then they're bulletproof.
There's worse.
So long as you service them every 50,000 miles, which fine. Like, okay, it's those cars are semi-exotic based on the powertrain, like high revving. What is it? 8,200 RPM V8.
It's wild. Yeah.
They're really
So is the RS4. The RS4 revs.
RS4, yeah. The weight balance is wildly different. RS4s are great. I really like the dynamics on that. We're talking about both of those cars. We're talking less about the C63,
which is the German muscle car
because
of
the motor. I'm kind of obsessed with that motor.
Talk about a
special engine.
Talk about a shit interior. Those early ones, oof. There's a lot of just weird blank space on the instrument. It's just weird. I'm not a fan of that interior.
I agree. I am more the reason we let off talking about the Audi, which no one cares about, just Audi in general, and the BMW. It's because of the transmission options. If you can get a C63 with a 6-speed in period, like new, that would be, those cars would be worth 2.5 times what they're
That's your choice. An ISF Lexus with a manual. Think of the value. Think of that.
That's a good motor too. But that was it, M156. Motor, is a very, very, very cool thing.
And it's a Lexus. That thing.
I'm team Lexus.
If they dropped the 6-speed manual, that car would be, those 08s would be going for like $60K all day. Still,
sure, yeah.
What a difference maker that. I mean, I like those. I really do. Yeah, the ISF.
Because that's funny. Those are the two more reliable brands out of that, right? Is Lexus and Mercedes of that period.
Quite a delta compared to
BMW and Audi.
Mercedes right behind Lexus in reliability.
Sure. I mean, and that's the thing is like, especially the early versions of that motor with the head bolt issues, they weren't known for being hyper reliable.
No.
But like I spent time in one with like 180 something thousand miles, and it ripped.
Four of the, like I'm saying, all four of those cars you can't lose. Like those are but those fall in the modern category. So the performance bump you get from either one of those cars over anything we usually play with is insane. Like it's like off the charts. It's immeasurable, that the gap, the evolution of power.
You know what might be the ultimate measuring stick here? What is always the answer?
Miata.
Right. So compare like an NA to like a ND, what 0.2? What are they? I don't even know what they call like the second, third gen of the ND.
ND2. ND2. Oh, NB or ND? Which one are you going?
ND, like the modern.
Oh, yeah. Well, there's an ND3 now, sir.
There is an ND3, but that's too modern.
Let's say ND2. So they went up to like what? They have 184 horsepower now, a super high, like 7,700 redline, versus an NA6.
I thought it was higher now.
That is high, dude.
I thought it was even higher. I thought they
got no. It's like 77 or something like that. I mean, it was like just under, or it's always been 7. It's always been 7.
Yeah.
The NA6 has 116 horsepower, right? And then they pared it down from the NC weight and made it lighter again and smaller again. I want an NB2, something fierce, dude. I love Miatas. I don't care.
They're good.
They're just good cars, dude.
I had a last year during Car Week. I had an ND2. Me and another homie split an ND2 Turo rental during Car Week, and
cool car.
I kind of leaves nothing. Like leaves nothing to be desired compared to the S2000. If I'm being honest.
No, very close
Yeah.
cars. Yep.
There's like S2000 a little buzzy or a little different, like, but it's just everyone like just self lubricates over the S2000, and I think largely because of the styling, like it's this iconic 2000 styling, and Honda, as the moniker, carries weight and everything. But
sure,
if you just went and got an ND2 Miata, like, great,
very
brilliant,
similar,
very,
cars,
very, very good car.
Yep.
Yeah,
you take that little cut in horsepower, but you also get a better torque curve, and you get a way lower curb weight, which is cool. Not way lower, but
more
for cars of
playful.
that size, yeah. Oh yeah,
yeah,
way
like 400 pounds, 300.
Yeah, you're
pounds.
mods away from having a monster. They're so good, dude.
They're just and that might be the most striking difference between the cars that we normally discuss, the 80s, 90s shit, and modern stuff, is weight.
Yeah.
Which really does impact everything.
Yeah, you're right.
But like, so when we're talking about Miata, it's a different conversation than when we're talking Mustang.
Right. Sure.
Because Mustangs were never like the lightweight choice.
They are not. Like a modern Mustang's like 3,800 pounds. It's not a light car.
But what's like an 85 Fox body? Like 29?
Yeah, probably 331, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, I don't know. Are there any like more modern shit that you're jonesing for? I mean, I've got a couple of honorable vulnerable mentions.
I'm always looking, and like looking at the perspective of having a more modern enthusiast car, not as your daily, like we're talking about, but like, like exactly what we're talking about, having an enthusiast car that's more modern. Dude, I gotta say one thing though. Having a car that's like maybe 15 years old, parts availability. You could still go to like a pick and pull, a junkyard, and find trashed models. Like, I think you can go, you probably have better luck now going to a junkyard and getting like a BRZ or whatever, something more modern, or even like
BRZ, they're all going to be like, the front ends are going to be caved in or like
destroyed. Yeah. Or they slid sideways. Yeah, exactly. Or you can get like a 370Z pretty easily, probably, right? At a junkyard. You can't any longer get the 80s and 90s stuff we love.
They're all gone.
It's not there. It's not there anymore. So like parts availability and just like aftermarket companies, if that car is very obscure, which we usually traffic in, especially with the stuff I bring back, it's hard to find these basic parts. And on a more modern car, it's going to be out there. You're going to be able to go get it on eBay from a junkyard across the country, whatever. It's just, I wanted to make that point. Like with these modern cars, if you choose to have your fun car be a more modern car, parts availability. Just it's huge.
I mean, that is the thing,
man.
That is the thing. Because like a lot of shit, what I find annoying, it's never it's never like, I need an alternator,
right?
I need a starter. It's always like, oh, I need this one fucking grommet that like holds a sensor in.
Yep.
And without it, the car doesn't operate.
Right.
And you can only get an OEM.
A crank sensor or something to that effect.
Sure.
That's a big one, right?
Yeah, or just like Mickey Mouse shit.
We're
like, oh, I need this like 45-degree intake elbow. You're like, oh, that's easy enough. It's just a piece of rubber that's like 38 millimeters on this end and 25 millimeters on this end, and it doesn't bend, and that's it.
Yep.
And maybe it's got a little like thing coming off of it for a fucking vacuum line.
Sure. Yeah.
No, unavailable. Completely unavailable. Your car doesn't work without it. It's got a big split in it. You're trying to fill it with duct tape or some bullshit to limp it down the road.
Yeah.
It just, and there's no, it's in that dead zone where it's not old enough for there to be like a company making replica shit or like classic support. And it's also not new enough where there's OEM support. When you're in that like 20-year dead zone,
it's like the Twilight Zone. Yeah.
It's that's exactly it. Purgatory.
Limbo.
Honorable mention. Early V8 Vantage. Not a car I'm probably ever going to own, but you can get like a 6-speed 4.3 380 horsepower V8 Vantage for like high 30s.
Pretty dope car.
Pretty fucking cool.
Ooh.
God, any
God, I
get
an RS4 before that though.
Yeah, I think I would too.
Or an M3,
Um,
V8 M3.
God, they're so good though. V8 M3,
I mean, the
um,
Aston's more of the special occasion, right? Like, don't
sexier.
get me wrong.
Yeah,
Yeah, sexier, special occasion. Got
it's the
I don't
world's
know,
sexiest
je
Camaro.
ne
Is
sais
what it
quoi
is.
about it, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
But you get the fucking V8 M3 and you fucking hose the shit out of that Aston on any kind of performance metric, right?
I don't know. I don't
Yeah, oh,
know.
I know.
I'd love
I
to see
know.
a side by side. I'd love to see a
100%.
side by side
100%.
because the
Uh,
Aston's a little lighter, a little.
I
I don't know.
doubt
I'm
it's
not
as
Mr.
dialed
Track
in. Get
Times,
out of here.
so
Yeah.
I would lean towards sexy. This is why I don't own a Mustang because
Ah.
Mustang isn't sexy. Neither am I. So what do I know?
Hey,
Um,
what about the big difference of having like OBD2, like a 96 or
sure,
newer, and being able to plug in
sure.
and pull a code? I mean, I love
Mhm.
counting check engine light illuminations. I'm cool with that. Jumping it with a paperclip, but
Yeah,
I'm there's a lot to be said about addressing diagnostics, and also like as you get more modern, yeah.
yeah.
Sure, there's more modern sensors. They're prevalent. There's lots of sensors, but we're not
They're
dealing with that
sensing.
old archaic fucking vacuum actuated bullshit that we deal with. The 80s, 90s crossover, when you have like analog switching to like digital and it's like that horrible marriage in between. I
Sure.
love fucking with that stuff. And that's just because the cars I love just embrace
Yeah.
that. But it is one of the hardest things. Like muscle car guys wouldn't know what the fuck to do. Like carburetor guys would look at that shit and be like, no, I'm not fucking with that. That's too much. They
Right.
open the hood, shut it, walk away, right? And then modern cars are just everything's electronic, right? Electronic water pumps. What a lifesaver that is versus a 6 hour job. It takes me like an hour and a half, and it's because I took my goddamn time,
Did
right?
you register your water pump?
Yeah, exactly.
Did you? Yeah. Or like, did you register your and calibrate your replacement battery and some of the ape shit stuff
Oh,
that's on the
wild,
really,
dude.
really modern stuff?
Yeah.
That said, there's the game within the game when you're doing the OBD2 stuff. You're like, okay, this car is throwing an oxygen sensor
Right.
code, and I replaced the oxygen sensor, and now it's not throwing the code, but it's not setting the monitor. And I'm looking at the voltage in, voltage out, upstream, downstream
Hmm.
spikes, and like trying like fucking count the peaks and valleys and trying to like
So
diagnose that shit.
that's more late
And then
90s,
you
but
realize,
yeah.
oh, oops, it turns out it's not. It threw the oxygen sensor code. The one oxygen sensor was a little bit lazy. It's
Yeah.
actually not that. It's actually my cat
Ugh.
is on edge, or I actually got to put spark plugs and wires into it because of the voltage is a little high on the upstream, and so then it's a little high on the downstream, and now it's not setting the cat monitor because like
Hmm.
there's a lot of like nuance within that where if you just read a code and you go, oh, the code says uh, secondary air fault. I have to replace the secondary air,
Gross.
whatever, solenoid.
Hmm.
But there's like seven other things that are actually causing it.
Yeah, but it's so
Um,
much easier though. It's just
yeah. Well, I
it's
mean,
much
it's
more approachable.
easier. It's easier, but also like on a pre-OBD car,
Hmm.
like half that shit could be broken and like the car would just work and not throw a check engine light, and like you wouldn't know,
Right.
and it would just
Except you
be
smog and
fine.
it's like a fucking gross polluter,
Yeah, exactly. You're just
but
rolling coal,
that's
and
where
it's
she
like
gets you.
it's an '83 Honda Civic, but
I
it's
mean, we didn't
rolling coal.
mention safety either, right? Like the safety
That's a
standards
big fucking
have
deal.
really, really jumped like just categories and echelons
I know.
above what we play with,
You
right?
have kids, I have a kid, and like we want to like be participatory
Sure.
with them in the shit we do, and so like being able to feel like you're not like threatening the life of your child when you go to the fucking sock hop or you go on a rally or you go to the supermarket or whatever is like
Right.
important.
Yeah, and I'm down with some good thrill value, but like also the fact that like just in general, like the engineering behind it, the safety, like the studies, the technology,
Mm-hmm.
it's worlds above. And we have a new XC90, which is an absolute tank
Yeah.
when it comes down. The safety ratings are like it's just off the charts, right? And then even my V50, unbelievably safe, like
Yeah.
insanely safe for a smaller car. So it's like
Wow, Mr. Volvo over here.
I see. I don't know what's happening, man. But no, just modern safety is another thing. You have to bake that in though when we're talking about like your
Mm-hmm.
enthusiast car because enthusiast cars get driven hard. Whether you're going to a track day, whether you're in the canyons, it is nice to have that modern
Yeah.
safety, right? It is
That's the
nice
thing.
to have
That's
it.
especially when you were talking about like, oh, these cars are have such higher
Fast, yeah.
performance, and like they can do all these things, and and the big horsepower, and modern tires, and cornering, and mag ride, and all this bullshit. But like, if they had 1980s crash sense, like,
Yeah.
we wouldn't be. Yeah, that'd be bad.
The driver is the crumple zone.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. The airbag is actually just a fucking claymore. Yeah. So it's not to lean too hard back on discussing a daily driver for me, but like it's it makes it intriguing. The modern car becomes more intriguing when you start discussing the amount of performance, the safety features, the potential of parts availability, general reliability. Where they lose out is cool factor.
It'll get there.
And I'm not cool, so fine. But
yeah, I don't care. If a car's awesome, I like it, But yeah, you're right. I think they'll get there though. I think they get there. They're getting there. They're creeping. They're creeping up, man.
Yeah. I just was gonna maybe sing Creep by
good call.
TLC,
good call,
but I just yeah. Yeah.
Okay, damn it. What do you think?
Is on the down low?
Is it time for a little also accepted Radiohead in this situation?
So I creep.
Okay.
Yeah.
I apologize. Okay, Frank. Jesus. We're trying to retain all three of our listeners here.
Exactly.
Let's move on. On that note, guys. Yeah, give more modern cars a thought. I think as an enthusiast option, we easily look over them, but I think they're a sneaky play. And now the price is down a little bit on a lot of the cars we talked about, to tell you the truth. I think a lot of these are probably only going to go up as time continues to pass, and they do get recognized for what they are. So, be ahead of the game. Start stashing these away. If you get a good deal on one, have fun with it. Take care of it, and you'll probably make some money on it. So, segueing now into our lovely little game, I'm gonna go ahead and explain to our fine listeners. Try to heal your ears, your ear holes from what just happened. Boy. That assailed by Frank.
Fill your ear holes.
God. So this is our aptly named Automotive Print Ad Quiz Game Show. We are gonna, and today it'll be me reading a automotive print ad from the 80s, 90s, mid 2000s. So not as modern as the cars we just talked about. I will omit anything that gives the car away. Reading through the ad, Frank then has to guess what the fuck I've been talking about. He has 3 guesses. He can ask for help if he gets stuck. He has 10 minutes on the clock. I hope you're ready.
Am I ready, or am I quizzing you?
No, you found a good quiz? I'm assuming?
I've got one. I've got one. I'm ready
I thought
to go.
You were looking for one as I was introducing.
No,
okay, never mind.
No.
I thought you were okay. Good. He's actually on top of it, folks. So yeah, I hope you're ready to release the Kraken.
I will release the Kraken.
Yeah, please roll that beautiful bean footage. I'm ready, Frank.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
And this losing streak I'm on.
Well, let's see what we can do. This is a 1-page advertisement.
Okay.
It's got 2 seemingly identical versions of the car outside of the color at the top. And there's a young woman, extremely Caucasian, pink top, blue jeans, high red boots.
Okay.
Leaning up against the back of this car. And it says, leave it all behind for $6,591. Asterisk.
Just expensive cars lately.
New blank, blank, blank. Life is fun again. It's funny. This ad is very catering to people that are on the edge, they're about to end it all, because you can leave it all behind. And then it says,
what was the price again?
$6,591. $65.91.
Very specific. Okay.
Life is fun again. You take control. You're feeling good. You're driving a blank, blank, blank by blank. And you bought it for hundreds of dollars less than Camaro, Firebird, or Mustang. 2 asterisks. This is asterisk heavy. You have front wheel drive, rack and pinion steering, special interior trim, rally road wheels, rear deck spoiler, reclining high back bucket seats, and excellent mileage. 49 estimated highway, 34 EPA estimated miles per gallon. Match it. Shifty or shiftless. It's your option. Match it. Anyone. You had a choice of 2 special transmission packages, 5-speed or automatic, for an incredibly special price that included AM, FM, stereo, 2.2-liter engine, center console, dual remote mirrors, and more. Match it. It's a very aggressive ad.
It is a lot of yelling.
It is. Plymouth. Okay, well, I just gave you a hint.
That's part of it.
That's fine. Best built, best backed, American cars. Match it. It's a weird ad.
Sounds cool.
Blank. Might as well say it. Plymouth has the lowest percentage of any safety recalls according to the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration.
Good Lord.
For blank and blank. Those are years. Cars designed and built in North America. We're getting very particular. Blank has so much confidence in the quality of the blank, they back it with a 5-year, 50,000-mile protection plan on the engine powertrain and against outer body rust.
That's not bad.
Don't bother. You can't match it. Every time you climb into your blank, you know you've left it all behind. Buckle up for safety. Blank, blank. The optional version is actually $7,280.
Okay.
Step up, move out, 0 to 50 in 5.7 seconds.
That's not bad.
That's not.
That's a 2.2 turbo,
5-speed stick, sport suspension, and more. 50-50, blank, blank. Match it if you can.
You can't.
All right. I've given you a very impressive hint.
You dropped
which
the
is
big one.
Good because it's still quite difficult.
This is a very hard one. If you didn't say Plymouth, so you're as a Dodge Daytona Shelby Z former owner, very familiar with that power plant. It didn't even say turbo. Did it say turbo in the ad?
Did not.
Weird. It's a turbo. It's a turbo with that performance
not.
number for sure. Because that 2.2 regular would not even get to that number. Going Dodge immediately. I knew it was because the first ad you said these traditional muscle cars. You said Camaro Mustang or whatever. You actually said Firebird.
Yeah, it kicks the shit out of Camaro Firebird.
Then
Mustang.
you said something very interesting. Front wheel drive, and I said I know exactly the company that brought front wheel drive to that fight. So it's Dodge. In this case, Plymouth, because you gave me the spoiler alert. Plymouth. So. Oh, I wanted to go to Dodge Daytona land, and you knocked me into Plymouth land. But I do know what the Plymouth had at the time. It was, we did the other version of this, the newer version, and I think I tripped you up on it because they had a V6 in it. I don't know if you remember this ad we did, but this is the Plymouth Duster. But it had another name, and it wasn't. I always want to say Gran Turismo, but it's not. I think it's just the Turismo Duster, and this would be a 1985 final answer.
Hold on, let me tab back over.
And if it's
to the ad,
these are cool fucking cars.
Leave it all behind for $6,591. New Plymouth Turismo Duster.
That's the one.
You're driving a 1984 Turismo Duster by
1 year off.
And you bought it for hundreds of dollars less than Camaro, Firebird, or Mustang. Yeah. So the Plymouth, I believe, was 2-year only. I think they only called it the Turismo for 83 and 84.
And then it was just a Plymouth Duster, I think, was the performance spice.
Well, I think they scrapped all of it, just went laser. Or no, was it Chrysler laser?
Chrysler was the laser, yeah.
Because it's weird, because then it became the Plymouth laser later.
Yeah. Which was a different thing, right?
Let me send you this link to this bizarre fucking ad.
Because
Um,
so I was able to stump you with the Duster when they had the
yes, that was the
V6
later
Duster, yeah,
V6,
which was a Dodge Shadow at the time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yep. Okay, hold on.
These,
Let me
I
get
feel like I've become a little bit of a subject matter. I'm not to toot my own horn on these two
SME.
turbo Dodges, dude. I don't know why. I love them. Each one of them is so cool, right?
Yeah,
Let's see what kind of.
it's weird because it's like you're considering ending it all. Instead, buy
Oh,
this car.
this is a pretty ad, dude.
It's a cool ad. Yeah, it's fun.
Okay. Oh,
It's
that's
like
definitely
it's
the
vaguely threatening, and it's just like, come at me, bro. After like every fucking paragraph,
no
match it.
no turbo mentions. That's the
It doesn't
weirdest
mention the
thing.
turbo. Yeah, which was
Huh.
like that's what you did in the '80s.
Exactly.
Like she should be shirtless and like have the word turbo
Yeah,
tattooed across her
zero
back.
to 50 and 5.7 is not happening in an NA
No,
2.2.
no.
Not even
And it probably is
close.
not even happening in a turbo, for being honest.
God,
Because
that
84,
two-tone.
those were like that was the turbo one, right?
Yeah,
That was
yeah.
not the
So it's like
turbo two.
100 and geez,
50?
40. I think it's 140
Yeah.
something. Yeah. Hey, I had 174 in my Daytona Shelby Z. Come on, man.
Yeah,
That thing
that thing
wasn't
ran
slow.
well.
It wasn't even slow.
The ergonomics were fucked, but that aside,
Well, fuck. But boy, that was probably the
incredible
nicest.
overhangs
That
front
was
and
probably
rear.
the nicest quality one alive, though. That thing
Yeah.
was minty mint.
Yeah, until the
Um,
buyer
oh my God, dude.
took it
Good
home.
stories there. Good ad, dude. Right in my wheelhouse, though, Frank. But
Ah,
you did,
man.
honestly, though, like you said, if you didn't say Plymouth, I would have went
That would
Dodge
have been
Land
tough.
first. Yeah.
Yeah, you
Because
would have been like, well, like,
there's a million options.
yeah. And we've done Daytona.
We
I think
have,
we've
but there's
done Daytona
variants.
IROC. Yeah, there
Yeah.
are variants. I don't know if we've done Chrysler Laser.
I don't
I
think
think we've
so.
done Plymouth Laser.
Yeah.
I don't
Plymouth,
remember,
the
which
DSM.
is
Yeah.
DSM, different
Mhm.
animal.
Very different animal. Good ad, dude. This is a cool ad.
Normal, Illinois.
Cool car, too.
Yes. Have you been
I feel like I always lead this dance. Why don't you
I
be a gentleman?
I will. I've done nothing. Zero things. Absolutely nothing. Just so I'm not saying that and only that.
Mm-hmm.
Um segue. We mentioned the Plymouth Laser, built in Normal, Illinois.
Right?
I, for the first time yesterday, drove something else built in Normal, Illinois, a Rivian R1T
Mm.
quad motor, green with a green leather interior.
Interesting. Yeah, good,
Had it
good
out for a
combo.
photo shoot. Shockingly nice interior.
They're so nice. Yeah.
The easily the worst first car you can give to like a 16-year-old.
Oh, they would die.
You would they would no
Instantly.
they would live. They would kill like a collection of orphans and litter of puppies or whatever
Yeah.
they decided to accidentally hit, because you punch it and it's like silly fast,
Mhm.
weighs 7,000 pounds.
Doesn't feel it though.
No, certainly doesn't.
Did you use the feature to lower down, like to get in and out of? It's
Oh no, I just had it for photos, so I like whatever.
it's
But I
kind of
took it on
cool.
a
You could like
drive and like
you could have
punched it.
slammed it for your photos, is what I'm trying to tell you.
Oh, I should have.
Yeah.
Fuck.
God damn it. Stance it.
Like the interior was impressively nice.
Yeah,
for
really
built
nice.
in Normal, Illinois.
What are you trying to say? DSM's had cool interiors, bro.
They
really
did. They didn't
did.
have like avocado green leather interior though.
They should have.
They should have. But yeah, so that's my update. Is I got to drive a Rivian.
That's a pretty good one.
Which is cool. You know what? It makes me genuinely excited to do. Like when the R3X comes out, which is like the Fiat Panda esque
Hatchy thing.
Hatchy, yeah, Rui Hachimura, like 4-door, slightly.
Should go with the Hachiroko there. The little initial D on.
Oh, I would. It makes me like want to go right now and put a down payment on that car. Like,
hell yeah, man.
Yeah, if it was like that build quality and tech, but like the tech is 5 years in the future, and like hatchback size.
Didn't Volkswagen just
fuck up.
ingest a bunch of that company though?
Yeah, they did. That's hopefully a good thing, and not like
Could
we're
be.
taking creative control of your hatchback build. But
Yeah,
I'm into it. about
Very
you?
cool, dude. So drum brakes. Let's talk about old technology for a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck drum brakes, bro. Fuck everything about them. Like I
You beat the
have,
brakes off it.
right. There's times in my life where I've avoided cars, much like you would avoid a popular Mustang or Corvette. I
Mm-hmm.
avoid cars with drum brakes
Or
just because
Twinks.
they suck. No, I don't do that. I embrace it.
Yeah, fair.
Twink Toilet was my screen name. That was on To Catch a Predator.
T-
Shout out TCAP.
shout
TCAP
out to
reference.
when
Holler.
shout out to when I was on TCAP.
To my boy Chris Hansen. Take a seat.
Yeah, I did have a seat.
You did. You should.
Yeah.
So
Anywho.
bad. So bad. So drum brakes suck. They just suck.
Mhm.
No one ever does drum brakes and like this is a fucking good time
Look
when
how
you can
happy
just
I
you can pull a rotor off, throw it across your garage, slap a new one on, slap some pads, and call it a day. Drum brake sucks on the tracker. Rear drums, no surprise there, right? We're talking a vehicle that came out in the late 80s, but this is even though mine's a mid 90s. Drum brakes, right? Yeah, drum brakes hung out for a while. Look at Mustang GTs was probably the most egregious use of drum brakes. Why did Mustang GTs have drum brakes
the base
so long?
Tacoma get rid of drum brakes like 2 years ago?
How about Honda Fits?
Sure.
I feel like in trucks they hung out a little longer. I think in cars
and hybrids.
they
I know hybrids. I think you can I think maybe the current Prius like still has drums.
Is that right?
I think so because it's
my.
Because of the regen braking. They don't use the rear circuit that much, and when they do, they don't use it in a way where they're getting hot.
That's a fair argument, but dude, it sucks to do that. When's the last time you did a drum brake overhaul? Like did all the components, the springs and everything? It's been a while. Probably been a while.
It has been a while. Yeah. It's been a while.
So for me, it had been like over 10 years. I did and I told you I avoid this. I did the Civic VX I had back in the day, which was an awesome
lean burn, baby.
Yeah, lean burn, 5-speed manual, fuel efficient Honda Civic hatchback, EG generation. Love that. I did a full rest on that. It was before I even got into YouTube or anything. That would have been a cool series. But anyway, drum brake sucked. You know, you have the tensioner wheel that you tighten.
Yeah,
the tracker doesn't have that. It has an automatic tensioner, which I fucking hate.
Do you have to is there like a bleed nipple? Is it hydraulic? Like,
yeah, well, no, it is, but you have to like set it within a certain threshold or it won't work. So you kind of just tighten everything and you hope. Where you can't before you just spin the tensioning wheel, right, with a screwdriver or whatever tool. If you have the actual tool, God bless you, you're a drum brake mechanic professional. The rest of us use a screwdriver or whatever. It's just there's no tensioning wheel to spin. It kind of automatically sets itself. So you get that. The hardest part is putting it all together, and then you're like, I fucking hope it works. So I haven't had the car off the lift yet. So I did everything in whatever like weird, talk about period do-it-yourself manuals on the internet for trackers.
Right, of course.
I did it that and everything fit well. It's just what a pain in the dick. And if you're replacing every spring and you go slow, right? Like you make sure not to lose anything or get out of order. You take 1,000 photos.
Yeah, you're sitting there with like a needle nose trying to get the spring off the fucking shoe, and you're like shaking and vibrating and like struggling to get it and hope it doesn't slip off and fire into your fucking eye socket.
Pain in the dick. Drum brakes don't work as good. They're more work to do. They cost actually more now too, because of course I bought the hardware kit to redo all the hardware.
How dare you?
All Ray Bestis parts. I put some good stuff.
Thank you, Ray.
Yeah,
Ray, friend of the pod,
work.
Mr. Ray. Exactly.
No, that was what I worked on. And, brakes are usually, they can be interesting, right? A lot of brake jobs. You could talk like a more modern Honda with those screws that fucking everybody strips out.
Fuck that. And you aluminum screws. Yeah.
And you have to drill them out. But that's a pain in the dick. But drum brakes, dude, fuck it. Fuck drum brakes. Fuck them. That's all I'm going to say. Pain in the dick. It's done. Again, I'll still avoid cars with drum brakes. That's all I got to say, man. Oof. They suck.
Well, I'm trying to think of like the greatest car with drum brakes. I don't know. There's a bunch.
I think it's funny that Mustang GTs had them so long into the road. Yeah. Right? Let's be honest. A performance car should not have drum brakes.
My Barracuda had four-wheel manual drums.
That was pretty normal.
When I bought it.
Right?
Yeah, that was very normal.
You were in the fucking 90s, bro. But Honda
I seriously think you can get like drum brakes, rear drums on a base Tacoma to like 2020.
That makes sense. I always thought the Honda Fit would have benefited from a good disc. They should have had a performance model with disc brakes all around. But fuck them.
Fit R, Fit SI.
Yeah, see. Oh, that would have been good.
That would have been sick. Even if it only had like 170 horsepower.
Oh, not even that. Like because they had 105. I'd put like
Yeah.
a
155.
130, 140
Yeah.
with good brakes, good
Good
suspension.
brakes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
6-speed manual.
Yeah.
Ooh, ooh,
Boy,
Frank.
we should. Is this an episode in the making? We
Yeah,
were like,
let,
like
let us make that for you.
early 2000s Honda Czar.
Yeah, I like how we effectively made it just an EGSI. At the end of the day,
Kind of.
we
Yeah.
turned a fit into an early 90s Honda Civic
Cool.
Si. We did
Yeah.
it.
Sick.
We did it, guys.
I know. We'll take the fit, but we'll put the manual shifter in the dash. Just like do like
Goddamn.
yeah, basic bitch shit. Speaking of basic bitch shit, thank you for putting up with us, friends. You know what we are. You've made it this far. Another pointless automotive podcast. Yell at your friends and homies and turn them on to this thing so we can turn them on at large. And yell at us in the YouTube comments. If you're doing the audio only thing, check out the YouTube side. If you're on the YouTube side and you don't realize somehow that like you can not watch us but just listen to us, that's an option. You should do it. Otherwise, hide your kids, hide your wife, or tell your kids and tell your wife. I'm Frank. I'm the photographer's garage on things. Chad himself. What do you do? Where can you be found?
Yes, I'm still Chadwick this week, and Auto Obscure Garage on the YouTube. Rescues, restorations, reviews. Tracker content coming up. We're doing a bunch of under hood maintenance. You'll have to wait a few weeks before you see me cursing out drum brakes, but it'll be there.
All right, hell
it'll
yeah,
be there.
Fantastic. And then I feel like I'm going to. I did like an intro video on the Focus, like I don't know, a few hours before I figured out that I can't pilot on the rally. Gotcha. But I do need to do more as I find time to like stuff various parts in it and shop for tires and buy windshields and probably break shit and make and some repairs will go awry and all of the things. And
I can't wait. I can't wait to review that car. That's going to be a good one. I think it's going to be a really good time.
Yeah, it's the more I dig around with it, the more it's interesting. You know what I did find? I was playing with it the other day.
The
front seats.
The Focus.
The car. Okay, car, not my genitals.
I was playing with it.
I was the front seats very obviously leather.
Yeah,
right. Because you have leather cars, and you go to the back seats. It's like the cheapest vinyl.
Of course it is.
It's a Focus. It's a Focus.
Yeah. Are the back seats even Recaro or just wrap factories?
No, they're just wrap factories, but it's like
That's
worst,
hilarious.
Squishiest, stretchiest.
Yep.
Just like
latex leather.
It feels like it's made out of Misdemeanor Elliot's like morph suit in the.
I thought that was a trash bag.
Yeah, that's
effectively
what the back seats are made out of. It's like, oh no, this is not. They did not even try, because there's some like, oh, is this vinyl? It's like, I'm pretty sure this is vinyl. This is like, oh no, like it's stark. The difference between the material in the front seats and the back seats.
Without that interior, they had the pretty cool colored seats that were in
the cloth
too. Like those were cool. Like it was like, I know it wasn't real leather, but it was like the leather and vinyl combo. I always was fair to the blue. I always liked that on a blue car with the blue seats. I thought that was a good combo.
Ooh, that's like cool on like S2000s. People bitch about, oh, I don't like Suzuka blue and I don't like the blue interior. No,
that's cool.
Like publicly take a dick.
Yeah, no, you're wrong. You
are wrong. You are wrong. And
suck it up.
The blue interior is not a bug; it's a feature. I'm in support of it. And Suzuka Blue truthers. Cool. On that note,
it was a note. Thanks, guys.
Let's do this again sometime, friends.
We shall. All right, be safe. We'll catch you on the next one.